The APC Campaign Council Town Hall meeting and dialogue with the organized private sector was held on Tuesday, the 1st of November 2022 at the Eco Hotel and Suites, Victoria Island, Lagos. The keynote speaker was His Excellency Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, APC presidential candidate. The event had in attendance members of the Lagos State Executive, lawmakers, captains of industry, members of the APC Working Committee, among others. Some of the guests present were Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, APC presidential candidate, Senator Kashim Shettima, vice presidential candidate of the APC, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, governor of Lagos State, Chief Adegboyega Oyetola, governor of Osun State, Governor Simon Lalong, governor of Plateau State, Governor Nasiru El-Rufai of Kaduna State, Governor Dakwa Abiodun of Ogun State, Dr. Bafemi Hamzat, Deputy Governor of Lagos State, Governor Abdulrahman Abdulrazak of Kwara State, Governor Abdullahi Ganduje of Kano State, Governor Badaru Abubakar of Jigawa State, Alhaji Abubakar Atiku Bagudu of Kebbi State, Comrade Adams Oshomole, former Governor of Edo State, Chief Olusegun Oshoba, former Governor of Ogun State, Prince Bisi Olatilo, the Chairman and CEO, Biscon Communications, Honorable Dimeji Bankole, Mr. Femi Fani-Kayode, Honorable Abike Dabiri-Erewa, Dr. Betty Edu, APC National Women Leader, Senator Abdullahi Adamu, National Chairman of the APC, was represented by the APC Deputy National Chairman, South, Chief Ima Enuko, Alhaji Aliko Dangote, President, Dangote Group, among so many others. The event was anchored by Richmond Osuji alongside Morayo Afolabi Brown of TVC. In his introductory remark, the Governor of Lagos State, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, made it clear that Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu pioneered several firsts as a leader in Lagos State, citing among other things the LEAP agenda, which gave birth to 10-point agenda of Bola Tinubu, as well as regular interactive sessions that were started by him, which, according to the governor, gave rise to huge infrastructural development in Lagos State, like the Lekki Seaport, the Eco Atlantic City, among others.
And Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is a man that has been able to combine great political acumen with understanding the economy and the economics of every jurisdiction that we're here to listen to and to celebrate. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, as the 12th Executive Governor of Lagos State, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu pioneered several firsts, started this engagement with the organized private sector, way ahead of a lot of his peers at that time. Just yesterday, we handed over the completion of the Lekki Deep Sea Port, the biggest, the best, the most formidable port in our country, in West Africa, just by the sheer doggedness and audacity of the man that we're talking about. You will recall also that during his tenure, we birthed the Eco Atlantic, the biggest real estate reclamation that we've seen in the entire sub-Saharan Africa. It was also during his time that indeed the private sector has a space in governance. He created a first-class private sector-driven cabinet that indeed we all know till today is still the envy of everybody.
He said Asiwaju Bola Tinubu is a compassionate leader who understands the needs and aspirations of the people in general and the private sector in particular.
Today, he stands here as a politician, as the leader of our party, as a presidential candidate. But if you look at the other side of the coin, you see a man that is compassionate. You see a man that is business-driven. You see a man that has a lot of acumen and intelligence and understanding that you, our businesses, go through and understand and appreciate on a day-to-day basis. Leadership, they say it's everything. But leadership is tough. Leadership is hard. We've seen what is happening in global economy. We're not immune. It's not only in our country. It's not only in West Africa. The global trend shows that indeed it's time for leaders to be stand up and be counted. Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, a man that I've come to respect, is a man that also can help our businesses here in Lagos and in Nigeria. I want to welcome you to this event. Please listen as we trajectory to a man that indeed has what it takes to lead this country forward with a renowned hope for the future. Thank you very much, and once again, welcome to Lagos.
Governor Simon Lalong, DG Presidential Campaign of the APC and Plateau State Governor, while delivering his remarks, expressed delight at the gathering of the organized private sector. He referred to the town hall meeting as a venue created for the presidential candidate and his running mates to break down their agenda.
This town hall meeting and interaction is one of the avenues adopted by the PCC to ensure that our presidential candidate and his running mate, Senator Kashim Shettima, break down the details of their action plan to all relevant sectors of the Nigerian electorate. You will recall that our candidate, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, gave highlights of his vision for a greater Nigeria when he unveiled his action plan entitled, quote, Renewed Hope, at the Presidential Villa, Abuja recently. In the process of engagement with key stakeholders within the Nigerian project, Asiwaju has decided to meet and speak directly with you about the details of his Renewed Hope agenda, particularly as it relates to the economy, which is your primary constituency. This is because apart from underscoring the important role that you play in building the economic fortunes of Nigeria, he believes that with your support, he will achieve his goals of transforming the nation when elected into office.
The goodwill message of Alhaji Abdullahi Adamu, APC National Chairman, was delivered by his representative, the APC Deputy National Chairman, South, Chief Imah Enoku. He lauded the idea of the town hall meeting and emphasized that Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu provides renewed hope for a better Nigeria, describing him as a man with vast knowledge of Nigeria's peculiar economy.
Our campaign anchors in the desire for a Nigeria that works for all, where our full potentials as a nation and as individuals can be fully utilized. I am confident that Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu can lead us on the gateway to this great future, and that is our country, and leadership at all levels shall be committed to consultations and are competent in action. We invite you all to join in this visionary journey. Ladies and gentlemen, the party chairman had asked me to ask Nigerians to please put your confidence in Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He will not disappoint you. Thank you and God bless you.
While delivering the keynote address, the APC presidential candidate Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu expressed joy at the massive turnout of party chieftains, as well as the organized private sector, whom he referred to as the engine of growth. He called on them to join him in leading Nigeria to a great future.
Thank you for being here to listen. Only a paraphrase of what we are going to be able to talk about. But the journey is a winding and the road is slippery when wet. Nigerians stand at the threshold between indifference and greatness, prosperity and poverty, the future and the past. The door is ajar. Together, let us open it so that we may cross over to the better side and secure for this beloved nation is final and it is finest destiny.
Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu emphasized that the private sector and government must work as mutual allies to achieve success.
The official thing we seek to do lie in the sole domain of one sector. They reside in the cooperation between government and the private sector. I see no conflict between the business community and government. Yet, with equal conviction, I believe the private sector and government should constantly be at war. But they wage this battle not as enemies. They must stand as inseparable allies, combating the mutual enemies of scarcity, underdevelopment, joblessness, and fear. This bad thing breed. For this reason, to join you in this battle, I am honored to meet with you, the leaders, the business community, and private sector.
The APC vice presidential candidate, Senator Kashim Shettima, spoke about the manifesto of the party, especially as it affects oil and gas, infrastructure, education, power generation, agriculture, security, manufacturing, reforms in education, health, among others.
If you have had time to read the recently launched manifesto, you will see that we have developed a truly comprehensive action plan. I will briefly walk through the various elements. My colleagues will talk about our fiscal and monetary policies, the oil and gas sector, technology, the creative arts, education, health, entertainment, and sports. I will therefore not talk much about these areas. I will start with a topic that we know is on everyone's mind at this time: security. We recognize that insecurity is a major deterrent of private enterprises and investments, not to talk of the threat to life and livelihoods. That is why we plan to adopt a proactive and intelligence-driven approach to addressing the nation's security challenges. These will include bolstering security forces in numbers, training, equipment, salaries, and welfare. In the last 8 years, our defense budget has increased from 400 billion naira to 1.2 trillion naira per annum. In similar vein, our administration is prepared to make the necessary further investments in order to significantly reduce the nation's security threats.
He reiterated plans of the Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu administration to formulate policies that will better the economy of the country and spoke on the importance of public-private partnerships.
One of Nigeria's impediments to attracting much-needed investment has been concerns about the sanctity of contract and rule of law. Undoubtedly, the economic growth we are targeting can only be achieved by prioritizing improvements in our judicial system. The Tinubu administration will ensure that the legal sector functions transparently and with due process. Our policies will be based on judicial independence and integrity, respect for the rule of law, and appropriate legal framework, access to justice for all, and equality before the law. In addition, the Tinubu administration will work with the National Assembly and all stakeholders to amend the legislative list in the Constitution to ensure that states are given greater control over certain critical matters.
Team members of the Tinubu Shettima campaign who spoke on the manifesto are Honorable Wale Edun, investment expert, Mrs. Ulubukola Arowolo, founder and managing director Latima Energy, Dr. Tanimu Yakuza, commodity exchange expert, Mr. Asukwo Ekpeyong, economist, Inyolu Aboyeji, Hadiza Saido, and Honorable Doris Aniete.
At the end of the day, by the time you have a growing economy, you will have higher revenue from taxes, from businesses that are doing well, that will give the government the funding that it requires to provide public goods and services. But in the meantime, what to do? A Tinubu-Shettima administration would immediately boost tax revenue, not by raising tax rates, but by compliance, by adding, re-engineering the system, using the latest technology, as the presidential candidate once did so many years ago in Lagos, and the benefit is being received and built on even till today. A widening of the tax net rather than burdening a few taxpayers. In addition, there are opportunities to boost revenue, immediate opportunities. We know that you have to incentivize key investors, and they're all here, so many of them in the front row here. They commit to making investment, taking risks, and they have to be incentivized. However, 5 trillion in taxes, tariff and duty waivers and exemptions clearly goes beyond what they need to operate and, in fact, what they get. Similarly, that's about 5 trillion naira. Similarly, the foreign exchange subsidy, 5 trillion naira, which could be coming to the government. And thirdly, oil theft. A Tinubu-Shettima administration would robustly confront, engage, and subdue using state power.
This was followed by an interactive session which was moderated by Mr. Dele Alaki, who was the Commissioner for Information during the tenure of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu as Governor of Lagos State from 1999 to 2007. During the interactive session, questions were raised by the audience on infrastructure, the power sector, fuel subsidy, export commodity, fiscal and monetary policies, gender inclusion, local government autonomy, plans for the maritime industry, media and that of the creative sector, security, among others. Answers were provided by Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, his running mate Senator Kashim Shettima, and the economic team. The vote of thanks was delivered by Comrade Adams Oshomole, former governor of Edo State. The meeting and dialogue formally came to an end with the national anthem.